is trading. This is Six Figure Dog Business, the Facebook edition. We also have an online radio edition. That's actually an entirely different show, but I'm calling it the same thing because I can. That's what I do. So this is the show where we help you as dog trainers grow your business, with automated systems, grow your business, grow your income, increase your freedom, time, all that good stuff that you're looking to do. So and I apologize tonight, I've even got an extra bulb back there, but the lighting's not super good right now, so I apologize for that. This half of my face is looking dark, as I'm seeing in through here. But anyway, so what I want to talk about today is one of the biggest things that dog trainers this is like the fear thing, right? Because what dog trainers tell me that they want over and over and over is high income consistently. What frustrates dog trainers over and over and over is high income some months, low income other months, or low income every month. That's another thing that frustrates a lot of dog trainers. But this frustration is mostly built out of fear, right? Because, oh my gosh, where is my next paycheck going to come from? What if we don't make the money this month? Things like that. Totally valid fears. You've got so much on your plate. You got to take care of yourself, a family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is where, when dog trainers get in this fear state of mind, just like dogs that we work with, when dogs get in a fear state of mind, do they make good decisions? The answer is almost universally no, they don't make good decisions. And most dog trainers don't make good decisions when they're in a fear state of mind, saying like, all right, I gotta make $8,000 this month, or $5,000 this month, or 15 grand, whatever it is, I gotta make that. And they don't know how to go about doing it, and it freaks them out, and it's just a problem. So, what I'm going to share with you today is, let me dig deeper, because the problem often becomes, because fear typically comes from the unknown, right? And so that fear comes in because they know the number that they need to hit, but they don't know what they need to do to get there. And so, like I say, this is where the bad decisions usually start happening. And usually most of the bad decisions are based around putting time and effort and resources into the worst things that you could do. So, for example, when I see somebody like desperately trying to hit a certain number and they don't know what to do, this is where I see people getting on Facebook saying like, hey, should I go put up flyers at the grocery store on the bulletin board? Like, I'm not going to tell you like don't do that, but like it's the biggest waste of your time. There's so many other ways that you could use your time that are going to give you so much better results. Or, somebody's saying like, I'm not getting the clients. I've got to invest in SEO or ads or something like that. Now, I'm a big proponent of SEO and ads. I do both of them. I think they're great. I think you should be doing both of them. But where most people jump into doing them is they don't even have like their whole business in a row. So their website's not a good, doesn't convert well. They have no strategy behind the ads, and they're just boosting posts on Facebook and hoping something comes back. And so they're just throwing money up into the air, and they're hoping that like clients start coming in. And like the worst thing is that when a client does come in from a bad technique, they're like, oh, it worked, let me keep doing that. Because you can do something that's not very good and get clients to come in. I mean, you've seen this with dog training. You can have a client be not very good, but they still get the dog to sit or come or whatever. Anyways, and so it's the same thing here. It's the same type of principle that, they go off and they start doing things. A lot of dog trainers do things the wrong way because of fear. And this fear drives them to do things the wrong way. And so what I wanted to do here is diagram a very simple process, a very simple way of looking at your business, to where you can look at certain points and you can measure certain very simple things and realize, oh, that's where I need to put my time. That's where I need to put my resources. That's where I need to put my money. That's where I need to put my whatever, is at that point. Because this allows you to, pinpoint and diagnose with accuracy exactly what's going on. So I call it a pipeline, is what I call it. So here's your pipeline. We need traffic. Some of you might have heard me say this before, because I say this all the time. A business is really only two things. It's traffic that goes to an offer that converts. And so on the very end over here, hopefully I'll leave myself enough room, maybe I won't, is a sale. So this is all that business is. Traffic that goes to a sale. Now it's the in-between activities that tell us what's going wrong in the process. So let me kind of get into this here. So traffic needs to be sent to a high converting, how do I want to write this here? Let me do this, yeah. So high converting properties. Hopefully you can read my writing because it's awesome. I was almost a doctor except for all of the schooling. So high converting properties. Now when I say high converting properties, what I mean is a website, an online funnel. A high converting property could be the phone ringing and you have a really good process for converting that phone call into an evaluation. But what we need to do is we need to take that traffic and do something with it. Traffic is plentiful. Traffic exists everywhere out there. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on Facebook. You can get free traffic on YouTube, paid traffic on YouTube, free traffic on Facebook, paid traffic on Facebook, free traffic on Google, paid traffic on Google. Instagram, Pinterest. Traffic is out there. There are lots of people with problems with dogs that are doing things online and offline. So when I say traffic, I talk about it online a lot because I'm lazy and I'd rather do online stuff, which is easier, cheaper, faster, and better. But there's also, other types of advertising, maybe radio. Radio's not bad. I've done some radio and I've had good success. But anyways, there's radio, newspapers, magazines, all sorts of stuff, right? So traffic exists. The eyeballs exist. They're out there. We just got to find the right ones. And so anyways, in order to find the right ones, we need high converting properties. So a high converting property is your website, or it's some sort of phone call process, or it's something that turns them into a lead. So that's the next part of our process here. So the traffic goes here and it converts into a lead. Now a lead is simply you've got the information of somebody who's interested. They're interested on some level, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. We don't know. At this point, they're just a lead. So in order to, a lead doesn't become a sale until we've got some things going on. So a nurture process. Well, how do I want to write this? Yeah, so I didn't think this through very well. So we want to send it to high converting properties. That's going to give us leads. And we want then a nurture process. So what's a nurture process? A nurture process is educating your potential clients about what's different, unique, and special about you. And so how do you nurture somebody? You can put content on your Facebook page, you can send them emails, you can send them text messages with certain, YouTube videos or whatever, but you need a process, and it needs to be fairly uniform across the board, because then it can tell you what's going right and what's going wrong. So if you're sending out the same emails every time, and you notice hey, this email here gets a good response, this one doesn't, we take that one out, we put a different one in. And so like I say, it kind of shows us what's working and what's not. But anyways, we send traffic to high converting properties, we get leads from that, we have a nurture process. I rarely have met a dog trainer that has a nurture process. The most nurture process I've ever seen is somebody emails them, they email back. Somebody calls them, they might call back. I can't tell you how many clients we've got because they're like, we've called every dog trainer and nobody calls us back. We're like, cool, yeah, here's it. But anyways, that's the extent of the nurture process for most dog trainers is they might get back to them, when they have time. And so a good nurture process is going to have a lot of automation in it. Automated emails, maybe automated texts, but also a good nurture process is going to have over on this end a high ticket sale so that there's enough money to even pay administrative people, to get a little bit of help if you're getting too overwhelmed to make the phone calls for you. And frankly, that's why you got to have a process for how you say things on the phone and things like that. But anyway, so a nurture process that leads to a sales presentation. Now I say a sales presentation because that's different for everybody. Some people have people come to their facility. Some people go to the dog owner. Some people meet at a park. Some people, we do it over the phone. I do all of our sales over the phone. That's how I like it. We do our sales over the phone. Some trainers do so much work up here that, they'll sometimes get clients just by, because the clients know that they want something. Almost always there's going to be some sort of sales presentation, even if it's just a quick phone call, somebody emailing in and saying, I really want this program, how do I get it? But there's always a sales presentation on some level, before the actual sale. And so now, and again, you want to have a process for how to do your sales presentation. Ideally, what I see most dog trainers do is they've got they talk about them. Here's our program, here's what we do, here's this, and it comes with this, and it comes with this. And they're not talking about their potential customer, their potential client. They're talking about themselves and what they do and how they do the things that they do. That's obviously a part of selling anything, but when that's the majority of what's going on, you're going to have a problem, frankly. And so, a sales presentation should really be about the customer, the client, their problems, their concerns, their fears, and then you can kind of present, your solution. So anyways, the sales presentation, which will either lead to a sale or to a follow-up process. How many times have I said process today? Like, heck of times. And so, how many people do you have a sales presentation with that say that don't give you a yes? If you're really good, it's probably 3 out of 10. If you've got a 70% closing rate, that's awesome. But it still means 3 people didn't. Are you following up with them? Because them not saying yes right now doesn't mean they might not say yes in a week. Do you have a process for following up? Do you have a process for continuing to feed them information about you? It's about 50 to 60% of our sales are on the follow-up. Because I do things on the phone, it actually makes it so that generally you close a little bit less, a lower amount on the first call. But then, like I say, most of our sales come in the follow-up, believe it or not. And so if we didn't have a follow-up process, we'd be in trouble. So follow-up is usually a combo of automation and manual work. Manual work, maybe sending them a text or an email or a phone call or whatever. Hey, do you have a chance to think about that program? And really just staying in touch. So look at this whole process from traffic to sale. This is a business. Traffic comes in, we do things with that traffic, and it leads to a sale over here. How effectively we do all these things is the strength of our business. And so you might hear, people talk about like online funnels, and so they call it a funnel because the traffic's over here and the sales are over here. And so at every point along the path, less and less people are interested. And so, all this traffic comes in, not everyone turns into a lead, so it's getting smaller. And then we got these leads and it's smaller. Not everyone does anything in the nurture process, so not everyone gets to the sales presentation. And so all along the way, this is getting smaller and smaller and smaller until here's our sales. So this is why they call this a sales funnel, for that reason. But when you have a funnel, you can point out where in the funnel things are broken. Almost everybody that I meet, they don't have a process for a presentation. Like, they make sales, but it's not like there's a process. They don't have any nurture process. They don't have high converting properties. And so all of these components are missing. And so this is when those components are missing, they don't do follow-up. When those components are missing, you can't have a healthy business. You can't have anything but highs and lows. And the reason you have highs is because sometimes there's a little bit more low-hanging fruit, and it's easier clients, you get more referrals, and then those referrals kind of go away, and here you are. Because you don't have any processes along the way here, or if you do have processes, they're weak or insufficient. So, like I say, but it allows us to see what's going on. So if your traffic is 100 per month, for example, that's low traffic. We might need to start there. But at the same time, what can we do so that when the traffic comes in, it converts at a higher level? Cool. Well, what can we do with that lead to nurture it into understanding how we're better so that we can actually get to the sales presentation? Cool. What can we do in that sales presentation to actually turn them into a client with a higher level of consistency? So when you've got all these things working well, this is a little bit wider at the end. You're bringing in more sales because you're getting less drop off at every point. But too many dog trainers have such big drop off that, by the time they get to any sales, it's needle. They had like a ton of people come in over here, but they didn't do anything to get them to come out over there into sales very well. So, but like I say, I'll give you some examples here, just like some random numbers. Like, let's say, you had 10 sales presentations last month and you only made 4 sales. Well, we know that we probably need to fix a follow-up process because we probably could have had maybe another one had we followed up better. We know that our sales presentation skills probably aren't as good as they could be because, a lot of trainers who are selling well can sell between 60 to 80%, in a face-to-face type thing. And so like I say, if you've got those sales presentations, but let's say, like I say, 10 sales presentations and you only sold 4 and the average person's worth $1,000, well, that's $4,000. Well, if you were just a little bit better in a couple areas, it might be 5 or 6. And so just small improvements can get you up, $1,000, $2,000 a month. Or maybe like, as far as leads go, like you only had 20 people last month show any interest, 20, emails, phone calls, whatever. Everything on this side is your problem right now. You're not getting the traffic, or if and maybe you look at your traffic and you're getting traffic, it's just that they don't turn into leads. Well, you don't have any high converting properties then. And so that tells you what you need to change. You got to change and get some high converting properties and stuff like that. So anyways, hopefully this is making sense because this is a lifesaver when you can understand this concept, because what happens, like I say, is dog trainers don't know what to do, and the act of not knowing what to do, they just start doing stuff, and most of it doesn't work, and it frustrates them, and it's just not the way to run a business. So have this, put this on a piece of paper, something, put this on here, and start looking at what your numbers are. How much traffic are we getting? How many leads are we getting? How many presentations are we getting? And start looking at that and saying, okay, every single one of those spots is, a lever that we can pull, and we're not pulling it very well right now. So what makes things convert better? How can we nurture people better? Things like that. So simple in concept, hopefully, difficult in execution. But I encourage you to go out and do that. If you need help in the execution, I encourage you to go down below this video. Down below this video, you're going to find a link where you can schedule a phone call with me. This is an hour-long phone call. 50 to 55 minutes of it is talking all about your business and how we can apply this type of stuff to your business. And sometimes, depending on the person, 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you about my coaching program and say, hey, do you want to buy it? And if you do, fantastic. And if you don't, not a problem. It really isn't. And so anyways, that's what we do on these discovery calls, is figure out if there's a way that I can help you find. And so like I say, at the very least, even if we never work together, you're going to get a ton of insight from this phone call. Because we're going to help you kind of figure out what parts are plugged up and where the bottlenecks are. So go down below this video, schedule that. Thanks for coming. Come every Monday, and good stuff. Put comments down below. I'll go look at them later. But yeah, thanks for watching.